I have just returned from Carnival Cruise Line's new Celebration Key. If you haven't heard, Carnival Cruise Line has officially joined the private destination game, and they've done it in a very Carnival way. Their brand new Bahamian getaway opened in July of 2025. It's designed to be the ultimate fun in the sun experience for Carnival cruisers. We're talking beaches, lagoons, food trucks, local shopping, even a 10-story Suncastle that looks like it was dreamed up by someone who mixed equal parts beach resort with amusement park and pure vacation energy. So before you go pack in your flip-flops, I want to share with you several things I made note of during my visit. I went on back-to-back cruises, therefore I got to experience Celebration Key twice. I canvassed the entire space just to make sure I had a good handle and understanding on it, and I want to pass along those learnings to you in this very video. All about Carnival's newest playground, Celebration Key. I'm the solo cruiser Wade Heath, and if you feel like my reporting and perspective bring you any sort of value, please consider subscribing to the channel and ensure that like button is firmly pressed. Here we go. First up, it's not just a stop, it's a destination. Unlike many cruise line private islands, Celebration Key isn't an island at all. A lot of people are still calling it that. It's not an island. It's a purpose-built port destination located on the south side of Grand Bahama Island, just east of Freeport. Carnival spent over $600 million developing this massive project, which includes direct docking for ships, custom-built lagoons, and 5 themed zones designed for every type of cruiser. This isn't just another beach stop, it's Carnival's vision of the perfect cruise day. Next up, you can walk right off the ship. One of the biggest sell points of this destination: no tenders, no waiting, no problems. Carnival built Celebration Key with a modern pier that can accommodate 2 of the biggest of their Excel-class ships. Think the Mardi Gras, Celebration, Jubilee, those types of ships, all at the same time. Expansion plans are already underway. In fact, I saw them creating more of a pier beyond the pier that we were already on for the expansion. And they want to be able to handle 4 ships at once, meaning millions of cruisers will soon be walking straight from ship to sand. It's smoother, faster, and means more beach time for you. If you can't do the walk, which was roughly 4.5-5 minutes, the way I clocked it from ship to sand, that is okay. There are convenient trams that pick up right at the edge of this pier in front of your ship, and those trams run continuously throughout the day, back and forth from the start of Celebration Key to the end of the pier where the ships sit. So you don't have to worry about it. If you have mobility issues, you need a little bit of help getting around, they've got you covered the moment you get off the ship. To follow, you get to explore 5 portals of paradise. Celebration Key isn't just one big beach. I think some people think that. It's divided into 5 themed portals, that's what they're calling it, each with its own personality and vibe. These are basically just major sections of this plot of land that are all divided up into their own themed areas. The first of which being Paradise Plaza, the colorful welcome hub where you will be finding live music, the sun portal archway that everybody takes photos in front of, and easy access to trams that can take you anywhere on the property. That's right, trams continue from this point. So they will take you all the way around this destination to the back ends and back up front again with several stops in between. Starfish Lagoon, the family-friendly heart of the destination. It features splash zones, sports courts, and a huge freshwater lagoon surrounded by casual dining and beach loungers. And I figured this area was going to be the busiest of all of the 5 portal sections of this destination. Turned out not to be at all. As a matter of fact, I just walked to the back side of Starfish Lagoon, and there was so much real estate not gobbled up at all. And 2 ships were in port, one of which was one of the newer Excel ships, the Mardi Gras. So massive amounts of crowds had descended upon Celebration Key, and it was barely a drop in the bucket. Barely anybody was over on the back end of Starfish Lagoon. So if you happen to see a lot of people up front when you first arrive at Starfish Lagoon, just off to your right, keep walking. Go straight through the castle and make a right to the back end of Starfish Lagoon, and you'll probably find a lot of empty loungers. Got complimentary umbrellas thrown in here as well, which is a very nice plus. As mentioned, that is if you took a right, you'd be headed to Starfish Lagoon. So if you were to take a left from Paradise Plaza, that will take you to Calypso Lagoon. This is the party zone with a DJ island, an enormous swim-up bar with 166 seats, and food trucks serving Caribbean favorites and carnival-style bites. This is also a sort of split section where they were dedicating half of Calypso Lagoon to adults only when things first began, and when it was adults only, it was 18 plus. I remember seeing those signs specifically. Since then, it appears 18 plus has been lowered to 13 plus for the adults only area. Therefore, you will have teenagers in and around your location if you think it is an adults only beach. It is not. These are the signs that were posted when I went both times, and therefore it's something you need to prepare yourself for if you were not ready to see kids in an area that you thought was probably going to be adults only. So FYI, Calypso Lagoon is 13 plus in a section, but otherwise, like I was sharing with Starfish Lagoon, it is one of those areas where if you just go towards the backside of the lagoon, where there is equal amount seating, very few people are back there too, even when the bigger ships are in port. So certainly something you can take advantage of and still get away from it all if that's what you're looking to do. This video is brought to you by Safety Wing Nomad Insurance. If you're like me, you're always looking for some peace of mind when you travel, and Safety Wing's Nomad Insurance Essential Plan came to my rescue. Designed for travelers as bold as us, it delivers coverage for travel and medical emergencies in over 180 countries. You can even start your own plan if you're already on board. How cool is that? It's flexible, it's affordable. Plans start at $56.28 for 4 weeks. You get coverage for hospital stays, medical treatments, lost luggage, and delays, plus extra protections like adventure sports and electronics theft add-ons. If you want that peace of mind, grab the link down in the description at Safety Wing Nomad Insurance. Nestled across a service road and in front of Calypso Lagoon, Pearl Cove, the adults-only beach club. This adults-only space will cost you. It is $79.99 just to get into Pearl Cove, and then there are some upcharge options you can add on to your Pearl Cove day if you wish. It's an upscale retreat featuring an infinity pool, you have shaded cabanas here, premium cocktails, and a quieter atmosphere for those who prefer to relax with a bit of luxury. It was the quietest of all of the locations on Celebration Key, and was something that I ended up doing twice because it was so quiet and very, very secluded by comparison of the rest of Celebration Key. And for anything you'd like to take advantage of on Celebration Key, whether that be Pearl Cove or excursions, you can go to your excursions section on the Carnival website ahead of your cruise to book. There's also an excursions desk inside of the Paradise Plaza area. It's one of the first things you see. And if they have openings, if they have room, they have flexibility, you can go ahead and book on site as well. And at the rear of the property, Lacono Cove, the cultural side of Celebration Key, highlighting Bahamian artisans, crafts, local food, and handmade souvenirs. It's a must visit for a dose of authentic island life. You also have some of your more, I'll just say, island-like stores that you will see in other destinations that you might go to across the Bahamas and the Caribbean. But there is kind of even a swap meet type style store back here, and a lot of locals that will bring in their goods that you can come and peruse at your convenience. Each portal is walkable or reachable by tram, as I was mentioning, so you can customize your day based on your mood or how strong your cocktail is. Next up, the Suncastle steals the show. At the literal and figurative center of Celebration Key stands the Suncastle, a 10-story landmark that's part photo backdrop, part water adventure, and part, wait, am I in a theme park moment? The Suncastle features two 350-foot water slides spiraling through its structure, along with observation decks that offer sweeping views of the turquoise Bahamian waters. It is bold, it's over the top, and it's exactly the kind of playful design that makes Celebration Key feel uniquely Carnival. It struck me as very Sleeping Beauty Castle at Disneyland when I first saw it. I thought, is that what they were going for here? Because it's kind of adorable when you look at it. Meant to be, of course, a sand castle type build. The Sun Castle is something that really stands out and is a great part of everybody's vacation memory when they visit this destination. And while there might be water slide outlets on one end of the castle, on the other end is a coffee shop built into the side of the Suncastle. If you want to pay a little extra for some specialty Java, you can do so at the Suncastle coffee shop. To follow that, here's what's included in your cruise fare. I think you'll be happy to know that a visit to Celebration Key includes plenty without having to pull out your sail and sign card every 5 minutes. So here's what you can expect. First of all, direct beach and lagoon access. It's all yours. This place is all yours to explore, with the exception of Pearl Cove, which, as I was just sharing with you, extra cost over there. The rest of this space, this is yours to explore. So perfect for swimming, lounging, people watching. That is your prerogative. You also have the option to access these beaches. Yeah, they've got beachfront areas too that a lot of people didn't go near, and I don't know why. I think the lagoon is just so attractive, and so a lot of folks didn't go near the beach. You have wide open beaches with loungers and umbrellas all included right on the beachfront for your enjoyment. If you want to do anything like a cabana, or you want to do something that might be even grander than a cabana, they have a couple of different options here across the property. Those are all things that, once again, in the excursions module on the Carnival website ahead of your cruise, you can book, and they will cost you a pretty penny. They are not cheap, but as far as umbrellas and loungers go, those are included, so take advantage of them. Island Eats is next on the list. That is the dining program that is a part of this destination. Casual beach bites, barbecue stands, snack shacks, food trucks included in your cruise fare. So if you see the Island Eats logo, that is your signal that you can turn your credit in that you have on your sail and sign card for an included meal. Now, everybody that sails on a Carnival cruise to this destination automatically has a credit for them loaded onto their sail and sign card. It's only one, so be picky, but this is something you get to utilize once you are out on this destination. You walk up to the portable digital stands that they have, these little kiosks in front of all of these locations. You swipe your sail and sign card, you input what it is that you would like, and then you pick it up at the window. Something you should keep in mind is that beverages are not included as part of the Island Eats program, and therefore you would need to either buy a drink separately, or you can grab yourself a cup of water at the water station alongside each of these food trucks. In addition to that, there are 3 sit-down dining options at Celebration Key. There's Mingo's Tropical Bar and Kitchen, Surf and Sauce, Barbecue and Brews, and Gill's Grill is the other one. There's also a restaurant inside of Pearl Cove, but because it's behind a paywall, I'm not going to reference that too much. Gill's Grill, Surf and Sauce, Barbecue and Brews, Mingo's Tropical Bar and Kitchen are all open for you. However, these are not included dining options, but you can take advantage of a discount. That's right. So if you choose not to cash in your Island Eats meal on the complimentary options, you can go into one of these sit-down dining venues and you can utilize a 40% off any entree credit at these full-service restaurants. So that's something that I would like to share up front, that, hey, if you want to sit down under the shade, be served, you can do that and get 40% off of an entree. And there's nothing stopping you from cashing in your Island Eats credit, getting food outside, and then also later sitting down at one of these restaurants. You're just not going to get that discount, so you'll pay full price at the sit-down location. There's nothing stopping you from doing that, or from buying additional food at the food trucks if that's something that you want to do later. But only 1 credit, 1 meal for the Island Eats program. Moving on to tram transportation. I've mentioned it a few times now, but you can hop on and hop off any sort of tram service you see in and around this destination. It goes from the very front, where you first arrive to under the Celebration Key arch, to the very back of the property, and there are multiple stops in between to get you to and from wherever you need to be. So if walking isn't something that is going to be comfortable for you, don't worry, you've got tram transportation to rely on. And I know I mentioned this a little bit earlier, but I think it's worth hitting on again. Lounge chairs and umbrellas are included across this property. No charge for soaking up that Bahamian sunshine. And the reason I'm hammering that point is because the majority of the private islands that you might visit through any other cruise line they're charging you for that. Carnival is not. So while Carnival will charge you for other things, don't get me wrong, they're not charging you for the lounge chairs and the umbrellas, which, again, I think is a really nice touch. Also, live entertainment, local music can be found in this area, especially in Paradise Plaza and Calypso Lagoon. From DJs to the live bands, you've got plenty to keep yourself entertained with. You can easily fill an entire day here without spending a cent. Unless you meet the margarita bar, which of course is a very different story. I've also been asked a few times about whether or not you can go back onto the ship and get something to eat or drink and then leave, come back to Celebration Key. You can absolutely do that. There's nothing stopping you. The ships are there all day, so you can come and go as many times as you please. However, the ship does request that you do not leave the ship with any sort of food or beverage from the ship, right? So it's something that you need to consume while on board, and then you can leave again and go back to Celebration Key if you want to. Now, with all the inclusion, yes, there are some extras. Like any resort-style experience, Celebration Key has its premium upgrades, totally optional, but no doubt tempting. I mentioned Pearl Cove Beach Club. They do charge an access fee for this adults-only area, offering a quieter atmosphere and infinity pool. They also have that dining venue I was mentioning, so this is something that you are going to have to pay a la carte for. It's called the Pearl Cove Beach Club Restaurant. Very creative, if you ask me. I did dine here just to try, just to see, is there anything, really that stands out to me as different from the other locations. And no, it's other than being kind of a nicer space in general, with some decent service. The food itself was not like knock my socks off, whoa, this is revolutionary. None of that. And the price tag was not cheap either. So, I think if you're already paying sort of a premium to get into a place like Pearl Cove Beach Club, the prices for food probably shouldn't be as high as they are. That's just my opinion. It also feels like one of those situations where, I'm kind of a captive audience, but I did see people leaving Pearl Cove and going out and redeeming their credits at Island Eats and bringing that food back in. They're not stopping them. They're letting them do that. So something I guess you could take advantage of. You don't have to eat there if you don't want to. Again, I was just trying it out, and not very many people were. I think I saw maybe 2 or 3 other tables inside this very large restaurant, and nobody's really dining in that space. Cabanas, daybeds, and overwater villas, they can be reserved for an additional cost, and again, these will cost. These are not cheap. A lot of these are very expensive. Specialty dining venues and signature cocktails, they are not part of the Island Eats inclusions, as I had mentioned, so keep that in mind. And then, of course, the water slides at the Suncastle. They might look fun, but they are not free. No, they are not. $14.99 a person, so $15 flat for unlimited rides throughout your stay. So you can ride as many times as you want for $15. If you think that's worth it, lay down the money and get yourself slipping and sliding. Next up, the food and drinks game is strong. You won't go hungry or thirsty. Celebration Key features over 30 dining and bar venues, from classic carnival burgers to Bahamian conch fritters, jerk chicken, and tropical drink stations scattered throughout the portals. Most quick bites, like I said, are included, but specialty dining and those signature drinks, they do cost extra. The Carnival Cheers beverage package, they do not honor the drinks package on Celebration Key. Repeat, they do not honor the drinks package on Celebration Key. It will cost you out of pocket to buy any sort of alcoholic beverage while at Celebration Key, so please budget for that. It is the source of much frustration for a lot of Carnival cruise goers. I get it. However, we're now seeing that many of the other private destinations that these cruise lines are taking us to, they are following suit or we're already doing the same thing. One of the other things I wanted to make mention of, and I think it's really important, is don't waste your Island Eats meal on a food truck. Now, this is my opinion, but I think that by wasting your Island Eats meal on a burger and fries, when you can get a guy's burger and fries that I think is far superior on any Carnival ship, don't do that. Don't waste it on chicken tenders. Don't waste it on what I feel like is just kind of the throwaway food. Now, the food is just fine at these food trucks, right? Like, there's nothing wrong with it. But I do need to implore you to consider that there is better food to choose from at the Captain's Galley Food Hall. Now, this is located at Starfish Lagoon, right? So if you are heading towards that Celebration Key portal, that opening to Paradise Plaza, turn right, and this will take you on over to Captain's Galley Food Hall. Captain's Galley Food Hall has all kinds of really authentic and quality food that you just are not going to find at these food trucks that are on the perimeters that everybody goes to. The Captain's Grill is essentially several storefronts under one roof. I would say save the Island Eats meal credit for either the Mediterranean Flavor storefront or the Taco Burrito Bowl storefront. Both of these locations are custom creation stations, meaning you walk up and let them know everything you would like included in your bowl. Now for me, I went with the Mediterranean flavors. This was a place where I was like, yeah, fill me up with the beef shawarma. That's what I want. I want beef and lamb, and yeah, give me a Mediterranean bowl. This was all fresh and all prepared there in front of me. This was food that was created and crafted in real time. This wasn't something that came from a deep fryer at these food trucks, right? This is what I mean by throwaway food versus something pretty substantial by comparison. And I felt like I was just getting more bang for my buck with the Mediterranean flavors. So something to consider, certainly, if you are going to Celebration Key, head on over to the Captain's Galley Food Hall first just to see what they have. And really, I think it was a far better value for me in the end. It also comes with a chocolate chip cookie. Everybody's meal comes with a chocolate chip cookie. That's the thing that they do. So definitely worth a sweet treat there at the end of each meal. Next up, there's more to do than just lounge. While lounging in the sand is basically a cruise requirement these days, there's a lot more to do if you want to stay active and explore here. You can try your hand at paddleboarding, kayaking, snorkeling in the lagoons. You can wander through Locomo Cove to see local art and murals, or handmade crafts are back there. Join an island bike tour or Jeep adventure for a taste of Grand Bahama beyond the port. In fact, there's an area at the back of Celebration Key that is basically a taxi stand, right? With everything you can expect from venturing out from Celebration Key into Grand Bahama. And they are waiting for you back there. And the Celebration Key staff are standing by to make sure that you feel comfortable venturing out into Grand Bahama and, of course, Freeport, if that's something that you're interested in. Or you can simply wander. Each portal has a different atmosphere, and discovering them all makes the day feel like a mini resort crawl. Everything is new, everything is clean, everything is fresh. It is a destination unlike anything I've ever been to, and I think it's just because it's very sort of Carnival branded, right? So it's very unique to Carnival, that's for sure. Think of Celebration Key as your choose your own adventure beach day. And like I said, if one area is crowded in a particular zone or portal, just keep walking. Eventually you will get to an area that is just completely desolate and empty. The location itself, the destination itself, I think was intentionally made extra large. And in addition to the two ships that are already docked there each day, like I said, they are building an additional pier to add two more ships. So the plan is to ultimately fill all that extra space in with people. And I think that there's even a plan to build out into an additional area of where the destination already sits. So there was already work going on to the outside of Pearl Cove, as well as to the back end of the Starfish Lagoon area. So the plan is to keep on growing this destination, so there will be even more to see here in another year or two, and I'll be back to bring you all the details. To follow that, live entertainment that brings island vibes to life. If you've cruised with Carnival before, you know they love a good party, and Celebration Key brings that energy ashore. Throughout the day, you will find live Bahamian bands, steel drum players, DJ sets, and spontaneous performances, especially around Calypso Lagoon and Paradise Plaza. The Junkanoo Parade that happens several times throughout the day is something that you have to see to really enjoy. It is one of those Carnival Celebration Key signature performances that goes from the back of the property to the front of the property where everybody's arriving just off of the pier. Like I said, multiple times a day, you can enjoy this. And because the corridor is so long, there's a lot of really great places to get pictures and videos of these performers doing their thing. It's a little slice of that fun ship spirit now anchored right on Bahamian sand. And finally, Celebration Key is Carnival's future. Celebration Key isn't just a new port, it's a strategic turning point for Carnival Cruise Line. By building their own destination, Carnival gains full control over the guest experience from the moment you step off the gangway to when you head back on board. That means more consistency, better logistics, and the ability to make the Fun for All brand come to life ashore. Expect to see more itineraries that include Celebration Key, and likely more private destinations in the future. This is Carnival's way of competing directly with Royal Caribbean's Perfect Day at Coco Cay. And early guests say it's giving that experience a real run for its money. Now, I will share with you that Celebration Key really stood out to me as a destination that has a lot to grow into. Like I was sharing with you a little bit earlier, there's a ton of space here, and I think that there is even more that's going to be added over the course of time, but this is a terrific starting point. This lagoon is gigantic. There is so much space to spread out, and nobody feels cramped. Every few yards is a bar, every few yards is an Island Eats, every few yards is another lounger or umbrella. And again, those trams really make it convenient for you in case you can't get around. If you happen to need a beach wheelchair, that is something that is included. That's right, complimentary beach wheelchairs. First come, first serve. Drop by the excursions desk when you first arrive, and they will help you get through not just the sand to the lagoon, but also the sand out to the ocean front. In addition to that, I want to share with you lockers. They are something that are made available to you on the back end, sides, and fronts of each individual portal area. Now, they do come with a fee. Each one is feed appropriately based on how large the lockers are. You swipe your Sail and Sign card, you punch in a code, and you are off to the races. Now, this is something that is helpful, and that is these lockers have built-in phone chargers. So talk about a wonderful plus. If that's something you need to take advantage of while on Celebration Key, you got it in these lockers. Now, I know I mentioned the drink package does not extend out from the ship to Celebration Key. One thing that does extend out, though, is a Wi-Fi package. So if you happen to have a Wi-Fi package on your ship, well, that will carry over with you to Celebration Key. You can use it all day. I didn't find one dip point, one single problem with signal strength when I was at Celebration Key. It worked just fine. So something you get to take advantage of if you happen to have that Wi-Fi package on the ship. All in all, Celebration Key, I think it's more than just a new port. It feels like quite the milestone for Carnival, and it is a must-visit at least once for cruisers who love sun, sand, and a little extra sizzle. With so many ships going there now under the Carnival fleet, I think you will probably see it in the near future. If you have a Carnival ship going anywhere near that direction, you will probably be stopping at Celebration Key. Whether you're there to float in a lagoon or dance to a DJ, maybe you're going to explore some local markets or even sip a cocktail in Pearl Cove. Look, it's shaping up to be one of the more exciting additions to Bahamian cruising in years. So pack the sunscreen, bring your sense of adventure, and get ready to experience a destination where the fun truly continues off the ship. And one final note, you can go to Celebration Key and not pay for anything extra. You don't need to in order to enjoy yourself. Again, the included lounger and umbrella is all you need to enjoy some fun in the sun, and then you've got a meal included somewhere in the midst of all of that. So if you feel the need to buy more, whether it be at the ice cream station, whether it be at the coffee shop, whether it be at one of the bars, whether it be an excursion that you want to attach on, that is perfectly fine, but I don't think you need any of that, nor do you need a super villa like they are offering in order to enjoy yourself. There is plenty to do that is completely included during this day that you do not need to venture off and experience anything else in order to feel like you got the most out of it. I feel like there is enough included here that you can enjoy yourself without breaking the bank. You already spent money to go on a cruise. Don't spend a bunch of extra money at their destination, which I actually think they're kind of counting on. You don't need to do that. Enjoy yourself. Have a great time at Celebration Key. Have you had an opportunity to visit Celebration Key since it opened? Are you going to be on a cruise that is heading to Celebration Key in the near future? Now, this video was designed to provide you some answers to some of your questions that I'm sure you have burning within you, but if there's anything else that you need to know about or were wondering, go ahead, drop it down in the comments. We'll be happy to answer. We'll get you set up so that you can tackle Celebration Key the right way the first time and you can make the most of your day. And speaking of Carnival cruises, I recently took a Carnival cruise on the Miracle to the west coast of Mexico, where unfortunately I ran into one of the, well, let's just say, most uncomfortable moments on shore in Mexico I've ever experienced in all of my cruising. I share that complete story with you here in the video on the right, or for more Carnival tips and tricks, check out that video on the left. I'm Wade Heath. We will see you next time on The Solo Cruiser.